This is just one of the tunnels that you have, and lots of racks I see.
Yeah, we call these shelves. We've got 24 of these tunnels and they've each got 16 shelves in each. This crop is about 27 days old, so it's actually on its second crop now. It's a 6-week cycle that we grow. We take 3 crops off during that 6 weeks, so this is on its second crop now, about 27 days into this cycle, and we're actually harvesting this crop now. We'll harvest it over the next 5 days, so we're just constantly skimming over the crop, taking the biggest mushrooms off all the time and allowing the smaller mushrooms to grow on.
Great, they all look different sizes. So what is the best size? Which one would you pick? I mean, is that the best size?
Well,
right
it depends what you're going to do with it, to be honest. If you wanted the mushroom to be presented on the plate and stay in the shape of a mushroom, then you'd buy a baby button, very small. But if you're looking to make a recipe, you're making a spaghetti bolognese or something, you're going to chop the mushroom, then the bigger the better, because it's just easier to chop, that's all.
Great. It's quite cold in here. I thought it was going to be warm to sort of make them grow. Is this how they like it?
At the beginning of the process, when we put the compost onto the shelf, then the rooms are very humid and very warm, and that grows the root structure of the mushroom. But once the mushroom starts to grow on the bed and we can see them and they look the shape of mushrooms, then too much humidity damages the mushroom, so we have to reduce the humidity in the room, and we reduce the air temperature as well, because we don't want to force them to grow, we want them to grow at their own natural pace.
Fantastic. Can I put my hands in there? Should we get our hands stuck in? I'm trying to feel it.
Let me put my hands in.
It looks like something from outer space, because it's like mud or sort of peat, but then loads of white stuff. I'll get a big load of white stuff. Oh yeah, you're stronger than me. Take a look at that. It's all white and gooey, and what are these like little round dots on there as well, Mike? The little tiny things. Are they little mushrooms?
They're actually little mushrooms, but not all of them will grow. The mushroom will only grow as many mushrooms as it's got food for, so the little ones will die off and they'll never grow any bigger. But this one's alive, this one will grow still. And this is the peat that we grow them off.
I'm about to say, will it still grow now we picked it? Will it still grow?
To an extent, yes, but the peat actually isn't the food for the mushroom. What the food for the mushroom is underneath, and this is the compost.
Wow.
And the compost is made from wheat straw.
Ooh,
and that's where all the food is for the mushroom.
Okay. And is it made of wheat and straw? Is that why it's called wheat straw?
It's wheat straw and it's chicken litter, but it goes through a composting process and then it's pasteurised so that it's safe.
So I'm all right.
So
okay.
It's what we call a selective compost, because we're growing a fungus, it's very easy to grow other funguses that we don't actually want to grow.
Yeah.
So we temperature treat the compost, which kills off all the microorganisms that the competitor funguses like to eat.
Okay.
But it leaves the microorganisms that mushrooms like to eat.
Very clever, isn't it? Very clever.
Sure
and
is.
what's all this white stuff that comes down from the mushrooms?
Well, that's actually the root system of the mushroom. It's called mycelium, and it's not like a normal plant root where each mushroom will have its own individual root. There's a massive root system underneath there, and the mushrooms can feed from many different parts of the bed.
So they're all connected?
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic. So you did mention picking them. How do you go about picking these mushrooms? Is it done by hand or is there a machine? Or?
It's all done by hand,
Okay.
because mushrooms bruise very easily. We have yet to invent a machine that can pick them. It's a selective process as well, so we can't just pick every mushroom, so it needs some intelligence to decide which mushroom to pick. But once it comes to picking them, they're very, very delicate and they bruise very easily, so a machine can't do it yet. We hopefully one day they will be able to. But the technique to pick them is just pull and twist, basically. So hold the mushroom, pull it up and twist at the same time.
Oh, lovely. Very nice. And I guess and they're very delicate, how do you make sure that you don't damage them?
We have to be very careful when we're handling them. They can't pick them and trim the stalk off and then throw them in a punnet, otherwise it'll bruise. So we have to place them in the punnet carefully.
Really carefully.
Absolutely.
So it's a long process.
Yep.
And I guess if they're so delicate, you can't water them from above.
We do water them from above. We've got a watering system underneath the shelves, but we don't water the mushrooms once there are mushrooms on the bed. We only water the compost and the casing soil when there's no mushrooms there. Once there's mushrooms there, we have to stop watering because water damages the mushroom.
Okay, so there's no other process for this now. It's not going to get warmer in here at any minute. This is how they stay now until they're picked.
This is how it stays. We'll warm the room up slightly as we go through the process, because the compost generates quite a lot of heat itself. But that activity dies down as you go through the crop, so we'll just raise the air temperature to support the compost because they feed better at warmer temperatures. So compost temperatures above sort of 22 degrees C, are great for feeding the mushrooms. Anything below that and the mushroom doesn't feed that well.
Great.
So we manage the air temperature to manage that compost temperature to 22 degrees basically.
So how many people would be in here picking all these mushrooms, like mushroom pickers?
Well, in this room, over the next 5 days, we'll probably pick about 6 tonnes of mushrooms out of this room, and each individual picker will pick, on average, at about 25 kilograms of mushrooms per hour. So at the beginning of the flush, we'd only have probably 3 or 4 people in, but